She's testing you right now. Yes, you. And if you're clueless about it, she's already losing respect for you. Let's rip off the Band-Aid. Women test men. Constantly. Not because they're evil, not because they're playing games, but because they have to. It's biological, it's evolutionary. And if you don't understand how these tests work, you'll keep failing, she'll keep pulling away, and you'll be left wondering, what did I do wrong? Here's the brutal truth. Most men fail these tests without even realizing they're being tested. They crumble under pressure, seek validation, or worse, get angry, and call women dramatic. But the man who recognizes these tests, the man who passes them effortlessly, that's the man who gets respect, attraction, and loyalty. Why women test men? The hard truth. Women test for one reason, to see if you're the real deal. Is your confidence unshakable? Can you lead under pressure? Or will you fold the moment she challenges you? These aren't mind games. They're survival mechanisms. For thousands of years, women needed to filter out weak, unreliable men. The stakes were life or death. Today, the stakes are her emotional security. But here's where modern men screw up. They argue, "Why are you being so difficult?" They beg, "Just tell me what you want." They crumble, "Fine, I'll change, just don't leave." And every time you fail a test, her attraction drops. The tests. You don't even notice. Think she's just moody when she picks a fight out of nowhere? Test. Think she's overreacting when she ignores you after a weak excuse? Test. Think she's playing hard to get when she pulls back? Test. Women don't hand you a syllabus. They throw you into the exam every single day, and most men are failing because they don't even know they're in class. Why you keep failing? You take it personally. You think her test is an attack. It's not. It's an invitation to prove your strength. You seek approval. The second you try to convince her you're worthy, you've already lost. You react instead of lead. She says something provocative. Weak men explode. Strong men stay calm. The good news? You can fix. This passing. These tests isn't about memorizing tricks. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to pass them, because his confidence, boundaries, and purpose are unshakable. In this video, we're breaking down the 10 most common tests women use and how most men fail them. Why women need to test you, even if they hate admitting it. How to pass every test without playing games. Hint, it's not about winning. By the end, you'll finally understand why she acts the way she does, and how to respond in a way that keeps her respect instead of losing it. Because here's the reality. If you don't learn this, she will test you until you fail. And then, she'll walk away. Not because she's cruel, but because you proved you weren't the man she hoped you were. Transition to video sections. Ready to dive deeper? Let's break down the 10 ways women test men, and how to pass every single one. Next steps. If this introduction aligns with your vision, I'll proceed with the 10 sections, listed for your approval first. I'll ensure the tone remains controversial yet policy compliant, focusing on self-improvement rather than toxicity. One, she ignores you? Good. Here's why you should ignore her back. Let's cut through the bullshit right now. When a woman ignores you, it's not an accident, it's a test. And the way most men respond? Pathetic. They double text, they ask, "Did I do something wrong?" They panic, desperate for any scrap of attention. And guess what? That's exactly why she keeps doing it. Here's the hard truth. Ignoring her back isn't a game, it's survival. Women don't ignore men they respect. They ignore men who allow it. So if she's giving you the silent treatment, congratulations. You just got handed the easiest test of your life. Now, here's how to pass it. Why she ignores you. The ugly truth. She's not ignoring you because she's busy. She's ignoring you because she can. You've trained her to believe that no matter how she treats you, you'll stick around like a lost puppy. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man with no self-respect. Think about it. If your boss ignored you, would you beg for his attention? Number. If your dog ignored you, would you chase it? Number. So why the hell are you doing it for a woman? Silence is a test of your emotional control. The second you crack, texting her, apologizing for nothing, or worse, getting angry, you fail. And once you fail, she knows she can control you. The wrong way to react, how most men fail. Let's say she leaves you on red for a day. Here's what the average guy does. Text number 1. Hey, everything okay? Anxiety. Text number 2. Did I say something wrong? Neediness. Text number 3 to fine, be like that then. Anger. Result? She now sees you as unstable, insecure, and boring. Why? Because you just proved you can't handle silence. You need her validation. You're emotionally reactive. And the moment she senses that, you're done. The right way to react, ignore her back, but smarter. Here's what you do instead. Nothing. That's it. No texts, no checking in, no passive-aggressive bullshit. You match her energy, and then you outlast her. Why? Because silence is power. When you don't chase, one of two things happens. She respects you and comes back. She never cared, and you dodged a bullet. Either way, you win. The real-life move. You've been texting a girl for weeks. She's suddenly cold. No replies. Instead of blowing up her phone, you disappear. You don't post sad shit online. You don't ask her friends about her. You just live your life. A week later, she texts, "Hey, been busy. How are you?" You don't reward her. You wait hours or days to reply. "All good, what's up?" Short, unbothered. Now she's the one wondering why you're not chasing. She's the one questioning your interest. And just like that, you flip the script. Why this works silence exposes her true interest. If she never reaches out, she was never worth your time. It forces her to invest. Women value what they earn, not what's handed to them. It proves you're unfazed. The strongest man in the room is the one who doesn't react. Final rule. The next time she ignores you, smile. Because now you know the secret. The man who can walk away is the man she can't afford to lose. Two, the shit test. Every man fails, and how to ace it. Let's get one thing straight. Women don't argue with men they don't care about. If she's picking a fight over nothing, congratulations. You're being tested. And if you're like most men, you're failing miserably. Here's the reality. A shit test isn't about the argument. It's about your reaction. She doesn't care if you're right. She cares if you're unshakable. What a shit test really is. It's simple. She says or does something provocative to see if you'll fold. Classic examples. You're kind of arrogant, you know that? Why do all your exes look the same? You're not really my type, but most men panic. They either defend themselves, "I'm not arrogant," weak, apologize, "Sorry, I didn't mean to come off that way," weaker, get angry. Why are you always starting drama? Weakest. All three reactions fail the test. Why women do this? It's not cruelty, it's instinct. Women need to know, can you handle pressure? Will you stand your ground? Or will you crumble at the first challenge? If you crumble, her attraction drops. If you stand firm, her respect skyrockets. How to pass without being a dick. The rule is simple. Agree, exaggerate, or ignore, but never defend. Her. You're kind of full of yourself. You. Smirking. Yeah, and it only gets worse from here. Her. You're not as funny as you think. You. Shrugging. Damn, and here I was planning my Netflix special. See the difference? You're not fighting her. You're not begging for approval. You're laughing it off, showing her your confidence is bulletproof. The real-life move. You're on a date. Out of nowhere, she says, "You're probably one of those guys who ghosts girls, huh?" Weak response. "No, I'd never do that." Defensive sound. Fail. Strong response, only the ones who ask too many questions. Grins. Boom. Test passed. She's not mad. She's intrigued. Why this works. Humor disarms her. Tension turns into attraction. No defense equals no weakness. You prove nothing she says can shake you. She subconsciously thinks, okay, he's not easy to rattle. Interesting. Final rule. The next time she throws a shit test at you, don't take the bait, smile, deflect, and let her wonder why she's the one getting worked up. Because the man who can't be triggered is the man she can't resist. 3. Why women secretly want you to say no to them. Let's get something clear right now. A yes man is an invisible man. Women don't respect pushovers. They don't crave doormats. And they sure as hell don't stay attracted to guys who drop everything to please them. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you never say no, she'll never truly want you. The nice guy trap. Most men think agreeing with everything she says makes her like them more. Wrong. It makes her tolerate you, at best. Think about it. Do you respect people who can't stand up for themselves? Do you admire those who change their opinions to match yours? Do you feel excited by someone who never challenges you? Of course not. And neither does she. Every time you say yes when you should say no, you're digging your own grave. You're teaching her that your boundaries are negotiable, that your self-respect is optional, and that your presence is disposable. Why women need you to push back? It's not about being difficult. It's about being real. Women test your boundaries because they need to know. Are you strong enough to hold your ground? Do you value yourself enough to say when something doesn't work for you? Or will you abandon your own standards just to keep her around? If you fold every time, she will lose interest. Not because she's cruel, but because no woman wants a man who's afraid of her. The power of no. Saying no does two critical things. It shows you have standards. You're not just going along with whatever she wants. You're a man who knows what he will and won't accept. It makes your yes mean something. If you never say no, your agreement is worthless. But when you do agree, she knows it's genuine. This isn't about being stubborn. It's about being consistent. Women don't want a puppet. They want a partner. And partners have their own minds. Where most men go wrong. They confuse kindness with weakness. They think being agreeable makes them good guys. But here's the reality. A good guy has boundaries. A good guy stands by his word. A good guy doesn't betray himself just to avoid conflict. If you're always bending to keep the peace, you're not being nice. You're being fake. And women can smell fake from a mile away. How to do it right. You don't have to be a jerk. You just have to be unshakable. If she wants to change plans last minute and it doesn't work for you, nah, I'm good. Let's stick to the original plan. If she tries to guilt trip you into something, I get it, but that's not happening. If she expects you to drop everything for her, I've got my own things to handle. No anger, no apologies. Just calm, unbothered certainty. That's the key. When you say no with confidence, not aggression, not fear, she'll respect you more for it. Why this works. It weeds out the wrong women. If she can't handle your boundaries, she was never yours to begin with. It builds real attraction. Women are drawn to men who aren't afraid to stand firm. It keeps your self-respect intact. You'll never have to look back and wonder why you let someone walk all over you. Final rule. The next time you feel that urge to say yes when everything in you says no, remember, a man who can't set boundaries is a man who can't be trusted. And trust is the one thing she'll never give you if you won't give it to yourself first. Fourth, her mood swings aren't random, they're tests. Wake up. Her sudden cold shoulder, the way she goes from warm to distant in seconds, that attitude you can't explain, it's not a mystery. It's a test. And if you're sitting there confused, scratching your head, or even worse, begging her to explain her feelings, you've already failed. Here's the hard truth. Women don't have random mood swings around men they don't care about. She's not acting this way because of her period, because of stress, or because that's just how women are. She's acting this way because of you. And if you don't learn how to handle it, she will walk away. Not because she's emotional, but because you proved you can't lead. Why this keeps happening to you? Most men fall into one of two traps when a woman's mood shifts. The fixer. What's wrong? Just tell me. I'll make it better. The victim. Why are you like this? You're so unpredictable. Both reactions are weak. Both scream insecurity. And both tell her one thing. You can't handle her emotions. So you'll never be able to handle her. Newsflash. Women don't want to be fixed. They don't want to be analyzed. And they definitely don't want to be accused of being crazy just because you don't understand what's happening. What do they want? A man who stays steady when she isn't. What you're missing. Her mood isn't the problem. Your reaction is. When she pulls away, it's not about punishment. It's about seeing if you'll chase. When she gets quiet, it's not about silence. It's about seeing if you'll panic. When she's distant, it's not about neglect. It's about seeing if you'll crumble. And every time you react with neediness, frustration, or confusion, you fail. How to actually pass this test? Don't take the bait. If she's in a mood, let her be. Don't prod, don't plead, don't demand answers. Stay calm. Hold your frame. If she's being cold, don't match her energy. Be unbothered, smile, keep living your life. Let her come to you. Women respect men who don't break under emotional pressure. If she's testing outlast her, this isn't about playing games, it's about being the rock instead of the ripple. Why most men keep failing? Because they're reactive. They think love means fixing every emotion, soothing every worry, and bending to every shift in her energy. That's not love, that's servitude. A woman doesn't need a therapist or a punching bag. She needs a man who's strong enough to stay grounded when she isn't. Final warning. If you keep misreading her moods as drama, if you keep begging for explanations, if you keep making her emotions your problem, you will lose her. Not because she's difficult, but because you're unstable. The choice is yours. Stay confused or start leading. 5. The brutal truth: if you fail these tests, she will leave. Let's not sugarcoat this. Every test she throws at you is a crossroads. Pass it, and she stays, with respect. Fail it, and she checks out, permanently. This isn't speculation, it's biology. Women must test men because their instincts demand security, and weakness is the ultimate deal breaker. Why you're being tested, like it or not. Women don't consciously decide to test you. It's wired into them. Thousands of years ago, survival depended on choosing men who wouldn't buckle under pressure. Today, the stakes are emotional, but the principle remains. If you crumble when she ignores you, she sees a man who can't handle distance. If you beg when she's upset, she sees a man who needs her validation to function. If you lash out when she challenges you, she sees a man who can't control himself. Every failure erodes her attraction. Every single time. The point of no return. Here's what most men miss. Women don't leave because of one failed test. They leave because the pattern is clear. She withdraws, you chase. She loses respect. She argues, you apologize. She loses interest. She's distant. You demand reassurance. She feels suffocated. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And by the time she's gone, you're left blaming her for being unreasonable instead of admitting you failed the tests. How to avoid the crash. Recognize the tests. Silence, mood swings, provocations, they're all exams. Stop taking them personally. Stop reacting. Neediness, anger, and desperation are automatic fails. Stay calm. Stay grounded. Become untestable. Build unshakable confidence so her tests don't even register. Final reality check. If you're tired of women losing interest, ask yourself, are you failing the same tests over and over? Because she's not the problem. Your responses are. The man who masters this doesn't just keep her, he earns her. The choice is yours. Adapt or disappear. Let's end this with the real truth. The one that's going to make some of you furious, others defensive, and the smartest among you finally wake up. If women keep testing you, it's because you're still not strong enough to stop them. That's it. That's the revelation. The uncomfortable, ego-crushing reality is this. Women only test men they suspect might break. They don't waste energy testing kings, leaders, or men who already command respect. They test the maybes. The I'm not sure about him guys. The men who might be worthy but haven't proven it yet. So, if you're sitting there thinking, why does this keep happening to me? Ask yourself the harder question. Why am I still giving her a reason to test me? The cold truth about attraction. Women don't play games with men they admire. Ever notice how she's never moody with her boss, never ignores her father, never shit tests the guy she's actually intimidated by? It's not because those men are lucky. It's because they established boundaries from day one. Your pain is self-inflicted. Every time you chase her after silence, every time you beg for clarity, every time you crumble under pressure, you're teaching her you need to be tested. Strong men don't get tested because they remove the need for it. This isn't about changing women. It's about changing you. Tests aren't cruel, they're necessary. They're how she separates the men she'll waste time on from the men she'll actually respect. The invitation and your ultimatum. If this video pissed you off, good. That means part of you knows it's true. Now, here's your choice. Option 1. Stay in denial. Keep blaming her, keep calling women dramatic, and keep failing the same tests until she and every woman after her walks away. Option 2. Get honest. Admit where you've been weak. Start building the kind of confidence that doesn't crumble under a little silence or a few sharp words. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, I've failed these tests before. Here's how. This made me realize I've been too reactive when the one test I keep failing is I'll be responding to as many as I can. And if this hit home, follow me, because this is just the start. The men who apply this stop worrying about tests altogether. They become the exception. You want to be the exception? Or just another guy who complained his way into loneliness? The ball's in your court. Comment now. Let's see who's really ready to change.